me, I guess Vigils kind of feels like it's been something like I've grown up alongside, I suppose. I think the fact that, you know, we can like come to each other with like these musical ideas, these creative ideas, and kind of like not really have any, you know, there's no fear of them getting, you know, shot down or anything like that.
It was the band that I formed when I was 16, but it's also been a big vessel for just releasing my emotions.
It's just been picking up any instrument I can get my hands on and really learning the craft.
A way to express musically in a very different genre to what I normally listen to.
I think a lot of it is just making music with your best mates.
Am I saying something, right?
Just honestly, whatever you want. Like, it's not got to feel too scripted.
Yeah.
Let's get a little shot. Let's get another car. Going for some first-person shots. First person in Cotham.
I met Joe when I must have been about 7 or 8 years old in primary school. I've been friends with Jude since about year 8. I met Aaron on NCS, and I met Johnny in the first year of uni.
So I first met Lawrence on NCS, which was that government-funded youth scheme thing. He then spoke to me for like half an hour about Weezer's Pinkerton, which at the time I had no idea what it was. I just kind of played along. And yeah, then we started jamming literally the week after.
Yeah, 10 years I've known Lawrence, and we met in an English class because we were on the same table, I think, and he let me use an AirPod, I think, or like a headphone at one point. I think we were listening to the Foo Fighters, and I wasn't even into the Foo Fighters at that point.
So I was seeing, you know, a lot of Lawrence and Jude and hanging out a lot. And to be honest with you, it didn't take very long for us to click, really. It was strange thinking, like, you know, I can play guitar, but I'm not like in a band with these guys.
I came to join Vigils in September of 2018, so it was first year of college.
The band formed when I kind of forced Aaron to form a band with me.
They sort of tried a couple of bass players, and they sort of needed like the void to be filled. My brother had a bass as well, so I thought, why not?
We had another member at the time who then left. So me, Jude, Aaron and this other member formed Vigils in its original form as Transfer Window.
We kind of went from there. We were then like the band.
But before Vigils could properly form in its final lineup, we had another little side project called Union Row. Basically, it was me, Lawrence, Joe, who we'd not played with at that point, and my mate James, who knew my brother for years. And then it was sort of the first time we got to play with Joe as well, which was really cool because he's just such a great guitarist.
That was sort of like a really nice way to start playing in a band, because it was a new band. There's sort of like no expectations to play a gig really. At that time, you know, I was just trying to sort of like become a certain guitar player. You know, I was like listening to lots of Red Hot Chili Peppers and kind of just learning all of their music. And then when it came time to sort of being in a band, it was like, you know, you can't just play something that sounds like this is the Chili Peppers because they're already a band. You kind of have to find yourself a little bit. And I think that takes a long time. Like, I don't think I ever really did find that with that band, but it was still a good experience just in terms of turning up to practice and getting comfortable playing in front of people, even if they are your friends. That still takes a while as well.
We were sort of playing as a free piece in Vigils at that point, and you know, we were kind of looking for a new guitarist, and it just sort of made sense because we have this guy that's been our mate for years, and he's a great guitarist. It sort of all just fell into place in like a really, really good way.
It's just kind of been doing as much as we can do and then taking periods of time away from the band.
You'll have to wait and see. The recording begins now.
Begins now.
Begins now.
Welcome to the what do I do?
This is like MTV Cribs.
Oh really?
Yeah, MTV Cribs, Johnny.
Welcome to the Humble Abode.
The Humble.
Yes, I'm going to show you some lovely piano tunes now.
Oh, lovely.
Go inside.
Should we,
So I first met Vigils through Lawrence. We met at university. The first Vigils gig I remember going to, a lot of energy, a lot of passion, and then eventually talked about getting a flat in Bristol. He had Vigils members that also needed to get a flat, so we all just convened, and I guess that's how I met the other guys, and living with them 2 years now, so it obviously paid off.
Great singer, great keyboard player as well, and it was nice to have somebody from the uni days come into the fold a bit.
It was instant musical connection.
It's been interesting during university because we've had more interesting kind of opportunities and more gigs because we've gotten older, we've got more of a reputation as a band, but obviously living away from Aaron has had its challenges.
When the band went to university, it was a rough period for us all, I think. The guys were going off to do something new, it was exciting and scary, and for me, I felt at the time left behind.
It kind of changed how we did the band a bit. You know, we are sort of more reliant on demos and stuff like that now, and like sending stuff over, and the way we write has changed as well. Because when the band nearly split, it was a really tough time.
I felt quite defeated for a couple of weeks. You know, the thing that I put 5 years of my life into, I thought was completely gone.
Things just fell out of place.
I don't really have my hopes set on like a career in music. For me, it's like a hobby I really enjoy. But I also kind of want to be in a band for as long as I can and enjoy it.
It sort of does get harder when you've got a distance, when you don't live in the same town anymore.
A bit of just a lack of us actually talking to each other and communicating properly.
At that time, it seemed like we had kind of different ideas for what the band should become.
It did sort of feel like quite certain for a bit. It felt like it really could have been the end.
We weren't gigging, we weren't practicing, we were busy doing everything else.
And the fact that we were all kind of thinking it without communicating it properly, I think was sort of like a big takeaway.
It got resolved with communication and talking about our feelings.
So I suppose like, it's just kind of like a series of maybe like build-ups of small problems.
It quite literally took one conversation to kind of kickstart it back, because I met Jude for a drink at the Goddards because he came down to Swindon, and we were just planning on having a drink and a chat, and by the end of that we had booked a practice session, got Lawrence down, we ended up finishing off a couple of songs, and it was really fun.
I think the learning from it was just you have to communicate. Like even among like best mates and stuff, it can be tough sometimes. I think the closeness actually makes it more difficult at points, and I think sort of the worry that we were drifting apart was a big part of that as well.
And we've got so much new stuff and so much to work on after uni. It really is kind of a catalyst of something new.
What are your hopes for the future? Oh, okay.
All of it. I just want to kind of get back to really working for it. I believe we've got quite a special thing between us.
I just kind of want to see us keep going with it, really, just keep trying new things, experimenting, just like trusting our instincts with it. I want to record new songs and get these new songs in a set, and then sort of get more new material more often.
And I just hope, we just all continue to enjoy it, really. And, when changes come about, we sit down and work them out together and, keep on giving it a go, I suppose, just see where it takes us.
I just want to keep it going as long as I can.
Yeah, I hope that we start touring and gigging loads more and writing loads of songs and all that kind of thing to make us progress in a way that is moving forward.
Being the band that we want to be right now, rather than trying to find an arbitrary goal of where we can start doing this, I think it's important to just kind of do what you want, and I think that's how we're going to have the most fun.
I hope that we record more songs, because that's my favourite thing to do.
I don't even really want it to fizzle out, because I know how bad that felt. I want to keep it going until I'm an old man.
Kind of, when you have mates that you don't see for a while, you could not see them for a year. As soon as you're back in a room, it's like there's no time passed at all. I feel like that's kind of what we're like as people.
I think that's what it's always been, is just sort of, the brotherhood of the boys, really. It's, as Skyrim-esque as that sounds, it's just sort of having fun and making music that we all really enjoy and we're really passionate about.
When we do get back, it's going to be absolutely killer. I can't wait. And like I say, we're just going to do as much as we can, gig, whatever.
Flirting with your camera, mate. He's like, hey, how you doing?